Beginning today and for the next few Sundays, not in a couple of weeks we'll have the Assumption, but we're going to have a great immersion in John's Gospel, chapter 6, about Jesus as bread of life. And the readings will be an encouragement to understand what Jesus is trying to say and do. So today's gospel is about poverty and richness, believe it or not. You have a man, a little boy, who is here with 5 loaves and 2 fish. There's this huge crowd. That's all they have, 5 loaves and 2 fish. But what are these among so many? That's a great line. What is Jesus considering the immensity of need? So he takes what the little lad gives and does something with them, feeds the 5,000, and with enough bread and fish that there are 12 baskets full of fragments left over. He took and gave thanks for the poverty of it, for the simplicity of it, and blessed it and broke it and gave it away, distributed for the nourishment. Last Sunday's gospel was about Jesus seeing a crowd, and they were like sheep without a shepherd, hungry. It's the same gospel scene, only in John's view. What is interesting is that the crowd wants to make Jesus rich and themselves rich. They want to make him king, and he disappears. He withdraws from them, leaving them full, but wanting more fullness, of course. Want to make him king so that they will always have their hungers fulfilled. So the theme, I guess, of today's gospel is, are we poor enough to receive Jesus? If our hands are full, if our hearts are full, if our minds are full, it is really hard to receive Jesus and to receive the Eucharist, the bread of life. What is it then if we say, are you poor enough to receive the Eucharist? Are you poor enough to let Jesus be Jesus? That might be the theme of the gospel. Because as soon as we want to make Jesus someone we totally understand, or the Eucharist something we totally understand, we are filling ourselves. We are not letting Jesus be Jesus. The importance of the Eucharist, of course, is it is a religious service, and as priest, people say, thank you for the service. Who is serving whom? Last week we talked about praying with, not just praying for, the importance of prepositions. One of the beauties of today's gospel is to pray with the fact that Jesus makes himself ours and makes us his. And are we poor enough not to be so centered in our making ourselves our own, but to let Jesus serve us? As we come to the Eucharist, to be reminded that He is the servant. He is the one who takes the bread of our poverty and does something with it. Gives us a name, you are my body. And we are asked to receive it empty. Putting out your hand to receive the Eucharist is a great sign of the dignity of your receptivity. Call it poverty, call it openness, availability. It's the same, it's receptivity to receive who He says we are. Who are you? Well, you can define yourself by only, what is this among so many? Or allowing ourselves to be blessed and distributed. Not making Him king. Because making Him king in our minds, now we understand Jesus. Now I understand who I am. It's all solved. No, it's always going to be a mystery. He's always going to disappear from the grasp by which we'll make ourselves rich. We're always going to be the ones who are served, and the ones over whom He says, you are mine. And we let ourselves be His. Our receptivity, our openness, our saying yes to the Eucharist is saying yes to not who we say we are, but to whom He says we are. And then, when we have received gratefully that poverty, we will be free enough to be distributed to the poverty of the others, of the people of God, the people of this world, saying, by how I live, I want to tell you who I am for you. I extend His being servant by our being servant to those people He says we are. We receive it to distribute it.